Hey, good morning, guys. Wanted to take a moment and just hit kind of a different topic that I haven't chatted about in a while. And that's discussing the reality of how this whole process, even though it's incredibly painful, can really help you find yourself. I think the biggest thing that a lot of us struggle with on this is the learning how to self-validate. I think we get into these messes most of the time because we're looking for that external source of validation. We're looking for somebody else to validate our lives, our worth, and just to give our life purpose. I know I fell into that. I know that was a big thing. I mean, I was the whole family persona and being successful at work and having a happy family was what I was looking for to really give myself purpose. The really dangerous part for a lot of us in these situations is whenever the whole thing falls apart and you're discarded by a toxic ex, you lose every part of your validation, everything that you held important in your life, everything that you thought made you who you are can be gone in an instant. And whenever you don't have the ability to self-validate and to really be able to be an independent person, it really creates all kinds of problems. That's the other thing that happens with these relationships is that you need the other person to, like take the Tobey Maguire movie, I think if that's the right one, where at one point in the scene, the one character is saying to the Tom Cruise character, you complete me.
I love you. You complete me.
Whenever you have your world being validated by someone else, then it creates all kinds of incentive for you to put up with toxic behavior, to let things go, to ignore certain behaviors because you need the relationship to succeed, because otherwise that's how you're propping yourself up. One of the things that happened with me on this, and I've dealt with this through various stages of my life, and it's basically learning to let go, but it's learning to let go of things that you think are important. Now, in the past leading up to this, it was stuff with work. It would be positions or jobs or, a goal that I had of someplace that I wanted to reach and I wanted to get to, and then that would fall apart and I would be so wrapped up around that it would be really devastating. It's really kind of bizarre to think about this, to think that all of these past experiences within my professional life ultimately got me to the point where I was able to deal with my personal life, even though it was incredibly difficult. But it's the same techniques that I used before that I had to use with this relationship falling apart. And the key on that is really learning what's important. Now, as I say that, you could be thinking, well, what's important is my career or my family or my kids or whatever. And those things can be important, or those things can be your priority, but you have to be able to take an objective look at everything and take a step back and reevaluate your priorities, because otherwise you can't adapt and navigate this in a way to where you can really regain yourself again. And maybe that doesn't make sense, but what I'm talking about is if you're looking at a situation where your whole world revolves around your kids and your ex takes the kids away, and let's say you do go through a court battle, and let's say you ultimately fail. Well, do you just give up? I mean, you have to be able to take a step back and say, okay, this has happened. How do I adjust and move forward with it? And I realize that's probably not the best example to use, because some of you are dealing with that, and it could be a very, very traumatic experience and a very traumatic thing to think about. The key, or the point I'm getting at, though, is that if you aren't able to reprioritize and reevaluate your life, you can fall apart and not be able to get to the next point. And this has been one thing that's happened in my life, which has been really bizarre, is most of the time when I've made my peace about losing something, it's like I ultimately get it, right? I think in some ways I was making my peace with losing my kids, and I ended up getting the 50-50. That happened anyways. There was a period of time where the position I had before this whole divorce started and what I had during the divorce It's a position I always wanted, that I always strived for. And I had convinced myself that it was never going to happen, and I had made my peace with it. I used to be angry and bitter about it, but as soon as I made my peace with it, it was like, hey, do you want to do this job? I was like, what the heck? And I can look back through my life at various times where I've done that, where I've had these epiphanies to where I just said, okay, you know what? I can't live in this toxic environment or this stressful environment. Maybe that's a better way to put it for the work stuff. And I just said, okay, you know what? This was really important. I'm holding on to it so much and it's becoming a problem. So I'll let it go and whatever happens, happens. And maybe this doesn't make a lot of sense, but what I'm trying to say is like that, you look at that like with your relationship, if your marriage is falling apart and that was a part where you really got your value, is to take a step back and to give yourself the opportunity to see what's next, right? Let it go, take a deep breath, try to say, okay, all of this crap is happening for a reason to get me someplace else. So where is that journey? And it's hard not to be completely fearful on that and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I've been talking about that with this whole house move thing and how I've had my own struggles with that. But sometimes you just have to be able to take a step back and go, okay, where is this going? And it's a little scary. It's a little uncomfortable. Not exactly happy with it, but maybe it's going to be okay. And let's just slow down and see where this is going to go. Now, I just want to throw that out there. Maybe this is just, maybe you're looking at this and going, what? Have you lost your mind, Duane? Let me know in the comments below if you think that. If this resonates with you, let me know too. Maybe I'm not communicating it well. Would love to know your opinion on what you think about this. If you like this channel and you think it's helping, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification so that YouTube will actually tell you about more videos. And I will chat with you on the next video. Take care.